Hi, Laureline.
Hi. Well,
Hi.
that's been actually quite a while since we last talked. So, how have you
Yeah,
been in general? It's been a few years.
yeah, I know. I know. Shame on you.
Yeah, I didn't interview you for the last release for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
it's terrible. I'm sad now.
I'm so sorry. Well, I'm making it up because we're doing an interview for two releases now. So hopefully that,
Right, that's true. That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. No, it's been good. Yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
working on three projects at the same time. So the last year's been crazy, like stop one project and then go back to the other one and then go back to that one. And so, yeah, it's been a crazy few years, but now it's over
Yeah.
for a
Well,
while.
Well, we have a lot to talk about, but what I want to talk about first is obviously the Live Beneath the Waves shows that you
Sure.
did. It's been 8 months now since the last show. How do you look
Really?
back on the whole? Yeah, I did the
Eight
counting. eight
months?
months, crazy,
Holy
right?
shit. Oh, it doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah, to
It
me it
feels
feels
like
like
2 months or
yesterday.
something. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
How do you look back on the whole experience since it was, I guess, the biggest production for Arion so far?
I think so. It was totally over the top, and our credo was more is more, and we stuck to that. Like everything people suggested. Why don't you do lasers? Okay. Why don't you do surround sound? Yeah, good. Why don't you do eight LEDs on the stage? Yeah, okay. So we said yes to everything, and it was a lot, and very proud of it, of course. And I think people loved it too. And I've been working on the Blu-ray, of course, and on the sound, the live sound and stuff. And yeah, amazing. So proud of the musicians, and the singers. They're totally amazing. So yeah, all positive. Only for me, it was for me as a recluse, it was a heavy experience, because usually I'm always here at home, always. I haven't left the house in 10 years, so that's weird for a recluse like me to always be at home alone with the doggy and my wife, and then suddenly be there, amongst all these people. So that's always, yeah, and then the nerves, for playing live. So for me, the real enjoyment comes after it's finished. Then I can be proud. But before that, I'm a wreck.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that also happened is that you got a CD on the O13 building, which I guess is a huge honor. So it's kind of the Hollywood Walk of Fame of Tilburg, I guess. So
I
how was that
know.
experience for you to receive that?
It was when they tell me, I'm never like, yeah, yeah. I'm only getting nervous, and I'm like, I don't deserve that. And then I have to go on a ladder, and there will be hundreds of people standing there, and I have to make a speech. That's what's worrying me. I'd rather be the man in the shadow, like the man behind the curtain. So it's scary for me, but at the same time, it's a great honor. It's fantastic, and O13 is such a great venue, and the people there are great. So it's a total honor to be on there.
So what I also remember from watching the behind the scenes is that you felt very shitty for when the tickets went on sale for the first time.
Yeah,
Because it was instantly sold out. And then even though you added a few shows here and there were still a lot of people who were sad that they didn't get a ticket. But I think
yeah.
there's many artists out there who wouldn't really care. Like I don't see Metallica doing any matinee shows anytime soon, for instance. Not to say that they don't care, but
Hmm.
why do you think it hit you and yours so much that that you wanted to add so many shows?
Because we were insecure as always. I'm always insecure. It's like, oh, we just had Corona, and everything got more expensive, and people have no more money, and I'm not sure if we can do three shows. I'm not sure if we can fill it up. Um, so I think we started with three shows and hoping that it would work. And then the moment they went on sale, there were 6,000 people waiting for each show. You can see that, how many people are waiting. So we were like, oh my God, what's happening? And then we have to add a fourth show. And we already told the musicians, would it be okay to play 4 shows? And they all said yes. So we could add that show immediately. So we did, but then that show was also sold out within 5 minutes. And of course, we were like, party, party. But then the shock came, then this whole range of messages and emails and reactions of people like, it's not fair, and I didn't get a ticket, and I didn't get a chance, and it felt really shitty. It was like, oh my God, that's from euphoria into depression. So then we were like, can't we add a fifth one? But that would mean that we have to play 5 shows in 3 days. That's really heavy. Maybe not so much for the singers, because there are 20 singers, so they don't have that much to do, but definitely for the musicians, and like the drummer, playing 6 hours a day. So he was the first one I contacted. I said, Ed, would you be okay if we add yet another show? And he was like, yeah, I'll be there, I'll do it. And so we started asking the singers too, and we had to wait for permission of everyone. And everyone was basically saying, yeah, sure, of course, we're there. So then we added the 5th show, which was sold out immediately as well. So so then I didn't get so many complaints anymore after that. And that felt good,
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I guess a similar thing happened when you opened the, the pop-up store, which was a new thing this year, and the merch got sold out. So
again, we underestimated the fans. It's shitty, we shouldn't do that. And it was gone so fast. And then it's like, oh, what do we now? Maybe we can send it afterwards to them, and it's all lessons for the next time. But each show you do, you think like, next show we'll do it perfectly. We've learned this, we've learned that, but then the next show something else will happen. There's always something that doesn't work out. But next time we just should not underestimate the fans.
One of the I guess changes in the lineup of the show was that Floor Jansen was probably not available because she was pregnant, I presume.
Yes.
Was Britney Spears, well, you worked with her for the Star One album, but was she immediately on your radar to replace
Immediately. I was like, okay, Floor is probably the most famous female singer in that genre in the world. It was like, okay, if I can't get the most famous, I want the best. I want the best in the world. And for me, Britney is, in her style, of course, there are a lot of different kind of singers, but in her style, the high power singing, she's totally amazing. And no, we didn't have to think long about that. And luckily she didn't have to think long about her answer. It was immediately, oh yes, I will be there. Can I bring my husband and my kid? No problem at all.
Yeah, must have been also a great opportunity for her, and I guess that she gained a lot of fans by performing.
She made so many friends. Because a lot of people didn't know her, and they were probably disappointed. Oh, Floor is not there. Well, we didn't hear any complaints afterwards. Everyone was like, what is this? What's happening? And not just her voice, but you can also see from her on stage, that her charisma and she's so positive and she's so serious about it. Like, I remember before every show she would do her trainings. She would be somewhere where no one could hear her, and like do all that shit. And no, she was so eager to please the people, and really, really brilliant, really fantastic.
There was also a change in the band with the newest edition, Timo. And I heard in the behind the scenes that he's the son of the guitar player of Vengeance, I think.
True.
So it seems like it's sort of written in the stars to get him on board, so sometime at least in the Ayreon years.
Well, not if he would not have been good, of course, but he is. And already, when his father auditioned for Vengeance, that must have been back in 1998 or something. I don't know. It was a long time ago. No, 80. 88. Yeah, 1988. Oh my God, even longer ago. His father was the best guitar player in Holland, you know, and so we took him for the band. And then later on, I heard he has a son, and I saw him grow up, little Timo. You know, he was just this baby when when I played with his father. And then I heard that he became a really good guitar player, and I was like, yeah, sure, you know, let's. But then I saw him play, and it's he's even better than his father was. And for me, again, in his style, he's one of the best guitar players in the world. You know, I think the best in Holland, but truly amazing. And on top of that, he's a really nice guy. It's so important for me, you know. If I don't like someone, it's over. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't care how good they are. And I've had it in the past. You know, people who are really good, but I don't like them, or I don't. Then I just won't work with them. So, but he's a great person as well. And of course, he's got the powerful body going on, you know, and he looks good, and that helps too. You know, that's cool on stage. You know, to have someone with such charisma.
Mm.
So yeah, he will be a keeper. He will always be there. He will
Yeah.
be. He's part of the family for me now.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see the family growing and expanding every year with new
True.
talents as
True.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So who
Well,
knows?
the bad thing about that, of course, is that also other people will be left out then, you know.
Yeah.
Other people I have to tell, like, sorry, you know, we won't be working with you next time. And that's awful, you know, that's awful. I had to do it again. And that makes me sick, you know, because these people, that's not what they want to hear, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the bad side of it. But, you know, I have to do it.
Speaking of the band part, it seems like an insane process of practicing for many, many months to get everything as
Yeah,
perfect as possible. And then you like the singers obviously only have one day to come together and you know
true.
to
Yeah,
put the act together. So how
yeah, yeah.
stressful is that for you and Joost to, you know, these final rehearsal moments?
Not at all. Because we're working with the best singers in the world, you know, and we just know they won't let us down, you know. So no, I don't think there's. I have stress about myself, you know, about myself and going on stage and singing and remember the links, but I don't stress about the musicians at all because we've got the best.
Mm.
And obviously, the instrumentalists, you know, we start rehearsing half a year before. So each month we have a rehearsal, and the last month we have more rehearsals. So that's covered, you know. We know that's good. And the singers, they get their instructions before, you know, and they should, of course, learn their lyrics and learn what they have to do. And then we have two people on stage right and stage left, who will tell them exactly when they have to go on stage. You know, we have this whole
Mm.
screenplay. You go on stage, you go off
Yeah.
stage. Okay, you go on stage, the high stage, you go the left stage, and you know, so everyone is guided really well. So the singers don't have to be nervous, you know, they will just get a kick in their ass. Hey, go on stage, you know.
Yeah.
So no, we got everything covered. We're not nervous about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess especially with this specific album, there were a lot of changes on stage. So
A lot.
there's some people
A
who
lot.
do
It
that.
was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And of course, things go wrong, you know, but it doesn't matter. I mean, especially the first couple of shows, you know, people will be on the wrong stage, or people will be on stage too late. You hear them sing their first line and they're still backstage, you know, it happens. But things like that, I don't worry, you know.
Yeah.
I do worry when it would be on the DVD, because then you have to see the same mistake
Yeah.
10 times, you know. The DVD has to be perfect. But we filmed the last two shows.
Yeah.
And we recorded audio of all the shows. So if something goes wrong, we can just take something from another show.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, of course, that's a secret. But
But I was always wondering do you actually, well, maybe you don't want to mention that now, but do you actually mix the audios of the shows to get as perfect as possible to the end result, or?
yeah. It happens, you know, that someone doesn't reach a line, or they make a mistake in the line. So then it's just very easy to get a line from the afternoon. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, if you have the singer come to your studio and we sing the whole thing, that's shitty,
Yeah.
that's cheating people. But I think taking a part from a different show. Actually, I never said this before, but it happened to me in these shows. The evening show. I was lying in the bed in the song. The truth is in here. And you're wearing these headphones and you're wearing this little transmitter that's uh, yeah, it's attached to my pants. And it got stuck in the sheets as I tried to get up. It was like oh, and it got stuck, and I pulled it, and then I pulled out my headphones, my in-ears, and I couldn't hear what I was singing. And when that happens to me, I have no experience.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm lost. The whole show is spoiled for me.
Oh.
So yeah, that happened. So that happened to me. So we had to take the version of
Yeah.
the afternoon.
Yeah, especially this show included 2 songs where you were featured as a vocalist, and we all know you don't like performing so much and being in the
No,
spotlight. So how
no.
was that for you?
The first song was fine. It's in my reach,
Mm,
and I can remember the lyrics, and it's nice to sing it, and I'm there on top of the stage, not too close to the people, and I felt okay for that song. But the second song, I have to go. They have to put me in the bed, and I have to get out of the bed, and I have to act with Lieselot and remember all the lyrics, and oh, that one was very hard for me, and but in the end, when I watch it on the DVD, it's okay, but it's extra scary for me to go on stage with all these great singers because I'm not a
yeah.
great singer. I can do, I can make it sound okay. I can cheat my way through it, but to be on stage with all these amazing singers is very humbling, I have to say.
Yeah. But whose idea was it to introduce the band? Was that your own idea?
That was cool, eh?
Yeah, it was.
With them turning around.
Yeah.
That was, for me, that was a brilliant moment. Yes, that was my idea.
Yeah.
I will claim that idea.
Yeah.
It was a coincidence. I was like, how many people do we have in the band? 8 people, and 01011001. Oh, that's 8 too. So that was just putting them both together. Wait, there's eight band members, and can't we do anything with that? And then suddenly I thought, what if we put the zeros and the ones on their backs, and they each come on stage one by one, and then at some point, but they hear in their headphones, turn around, and that it says that yeah, it was like, oh, is it possible? Can we do that? Because you have to rehearse that. If that
Yeah.
goes wrong, then the whole joke is gone. But yeah, I'm proud of that one.
Of course, I have to ask this, but you're probably not gonna say anything. But in the behind the scenes, you mentioned you're thinking about the next thing and that things are starting to develop. So I would presume that
Yeah.
there's gonna be an Arjen show in 2025.
There is, there's no need to be secretive about it. There will be. We're trying to be secretive, but now September 2025 we'll do it again. And actually, I told you, all my projects are finished, so I have free time now. So I already worked out the whole show. We already got all the songs. We already got all the band members, all the singers. Everything is confirmed already now. So we're already working on it now. We're already looking for new things, because we now did the surround sound and stuff, which we won't do again. So we got to come up with new, exciting stuff. And Joost and me are already going to places to watch new stuff. So yeah, we're working on it already now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ask you more about it because I guess you cannot
I'm
say
not going to tell you more.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have another album coming out. You have Lucassen and Soeterboekk'S Plan 9, The Long Lost Songs. I usually don't ask about band names, but with Plan 9 in the title, I sort of had to, because I read somewhere that you based it on the worst movie ever made, the name.
It is.
So I was wondering if it was connected to the fact that this album got turned down by so many labels. Is that why you added the Plan 9?
We already had the name. We
Yeah.
already had the
Okay.
name, and all the companies hated it. They were like, "That's stupid, you know. You can't call it Plan 9. What does that mean?" But I remember seeing the movie. It's an Ed Wood movie, and it's it's really so bad that it's good, you know. And I told Robert about it, and he said, "Well, that's a cool band name." And then we were like, "Yeah, but Plan 9 from outer space, that's too long, you know. Let's just call it Plan 9." And then our keyboard player claimed he came from the US, and he said, "Sorry, guys," and he got an album that he bought in the US, and he said, "Look at this," and it was an album by a band called Plan 9. So in those days, that was not allowed. You know, you couldn't risk it because maybe the name was copyrighted. So
Yeah.
we changed it to Planet 9. So for a long time we've been Planet 9. But now, as we were redoing all the songs, we were like, which is cooler? And we were like, no, Plan 9 is cooler. So
Yeah. Well, considering I've never heard from the other Plan 9 band, I guess it was safe to reclaim the name as well.
it was 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
they're probably don't exist anymore. And I didn't want to Google it, you know. I
Yeah.
didn't want to know. Let's just call it Plan 9 and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, the press release also mentioned that because of all the labels turning you down, you got really like worn out in the end, and that you then started to work on the first Arjen album, The Final Experiment. So I was wondering, do you think that if things would have been different for Plan 9, would you have been able to write the Arjen album in the same way? Would it have existed?
Good question. I actually already started working on AYREON. I think I started working on AYREON as soon as I stopped with Vengeance, which was in 1992. So 1992, I already had a couple of ideas for AYREON. So I was gonna do it anyway, whatever happened. But and I also in that time I released my solo album, my first solo album, Pools of Sorrow, Waves of Joy, which was a flop too. It totally flopped, and I got that deal on account of a country and western song. It was a totally silly song about the midnight train. It was so silly. And now I'm thinking, to answer your question, if that would have been a hit, what would have happened? You know, it would have been terrible. You know, of course I wanted a hit, but imagine if that country song would have become a hit, you know. I mean, I would have been the country singer all of a sudden. It would have been shit, you know. So I'm really glad it flopped. And Plan 9, if we would have got a deal, and if I don't think Plan 9 would ever have been big in those days, because it was not, that kind of music was not popular anymore, you know. It was typically 80s stuff and 70s stuff, and the 90s, of course, were the grunge days. I think I would have made AYREON anyway. But yeah, maybe stuff would have been different, you know. Maybe I would have had less time to make it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been a lifelong dream to do a rock opera. So I think I would have, in the end, done it one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering as well when I read that part in the press release, whether, you know, your feelings of being rejected and all of that maybe had an influence on the sound of The Final Experiment as well. So
Yeah,
interesting to think about.
but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because everyone turned me down, and I tried to make music that, you know, that I thought people would like. So it did influence me into doing an album where I didn't give a shit what people thought about it, because record companies going to turn it down anyway. So what the hell, you know? Let's make let's make my dream come true, and let's not care about that. And yeah, another lesson, you know. If you do that, you do something cool, you do something that's real, that's genuine, and people feel that. I think so.
How is it in general for you to revisit the old Plan 9 material and then turn it into something that sounds modern at the same time?
Well, in the beginning, I don't like, you know, if I did it in the past and it was rejected, I want to keep it in the past, you know. It's done. it failed, and too bad, let's do something new. But basically, this was working, helping out an old friend. Robert came to me. We got all these songs, and I'm trying to get a deal, and I want to play live again. Can we just do one song? And I was like, okay, Robert, you're an old friend. Let's do one song. And so we did Anymore, also with all the old band members. And it was so much fun, and it sounded really good. And Robert's voice is only getting better in the last 30 years, which is amazing. You don't often see that. So it was so much fun, more fun than I expected it to be, because old songs, but I also noticed that I could get these songs a lot better than they were back then. Yeah. And I've learned a lot. My productions are better. My arrangements are better. I can come up with better lyrics, and I know how to guide the musicians better. I know how to guide Robert in my studio, because in the old days we were just fucking around, we were just all we had was one little room with a mattress and an old tape recorder. Really, that's all we had. And we were just going for it. And we were just recording, and it sounded like shit, So it's no wonder that companies turned us down. And I'm saying this now, but you can actually hear the shit on the bonus disc, because have I got it here? Yeah. It's It's got a bonus disc, so you can hear all the demos. You can even hear the cassette demos that we did together in our little room. And there's some pretty shitty stuff there, but it's cool, because then you can hear, because the first single we had, Before the Morning Comes, it was just a basic idea with just an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and it was called Life Goes On. It had a completely different title, and you can hear the progression, from the demo we had 30 years ago to the whole new production and new arrangement and new lyrics that we did now. And I think that's cool,
Yeah.
It's probably something to listen to once and never again, but it's nice to have it anyway. You get it for free, so.
Yeah. To me, it had a lot of a Deep Purple's Burn vibe. I'm guessing that's also because of the vocals. He does sound like Coverdale.
Totally.
But I was wondering how important that, I know that you're a Deep Purple fan, so how important is that specific album to you?
I'm more of an Ian Gillan guy, so I'm more of the old shit. Yeah. It all started with Live in Japan, Made in Japan for me. So I'm more like Machine Head and Fireball and Who Do We Think We Are, and and later on Perfect Strangers. The Coverdale thing, it wasn't. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think I liked the early Whitesnake better. I didn't like. Yeah, it got a bit too funky for me. Yeah. I think that was Glenn Hughes. He liked the Stevie Wonder stuff, and that's not my cup of tea. And I think that's also why Blackmore left, the funky songs like Getting Tighter and stuff like that. So, but still, Burn had fantastic moments, of course. The song Burn, and is You Keep On Moving? Is that on Burn? Anyway. So. Okay. There's some amazing stuff on there. And of course, Coverdale is an amazing singer, but if I would have to choose, it would be Ian Gillan.
Yeah. Well, I agree, at least.
Especially Jesus Christ Superstar, that's the first time I heard him, and that's whoa, that's such high level.
Yeah, that's also one of my favorite albums. Like I every time I do a road trip, I need to have that album on.
I do too. I do too. Yeah. If I know we have a 2-hour drive, it's Jesus Christ Superstar from beginning to end. Yeah.
Ice on Fire felt a little bit different than the rest of the album. So is there anything you can say about that song specifically?
It was just our cunning plan to have a hit. It's a totally commercial thing, and it's totally 80s, and it's very Van Halen. It's somewhere between Jump and Panama, I would say. And we just wanted some of that to score a hit, you know. And it's uh, yeah, it's pretty, it's very 80s, you know. The rest is more 70s
Yeah.
with the Hammond and stuff like that. But that song is really going back to Van Halen days, and I love Van Halen. Yeah, but I love the old Van Halen. I
Yeah.
love the first Van Halen. But when they started fooling around with keyboards, you know, they were losing me a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's different, definitely. But
Yeah.
I think every song is different. You know, there's also
Yeah. Yeah.
a country and western song on there with the pedal steel guitar, and
Yeah.
so I think it's a very adventurous album, and I like that. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I liked about the old '70s bands, that each song was different from the others. So.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting that you didn't decide to make that the single then.
It wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
I could not pick the single. I could
Yeah.
not do it. Really, and then I was like, anymore. No, no, Let It Ride. No, Let It Ride should be. And I didn't know anymore. So I asked the company. I never do
Yeah.
that, you know, because I want to make the decisions. But this is the first time I told the record company, you guys, you know, go to all the countries where you have people working for you and ask everyone. And they came with Ice on Fire. So.
Well, you mentioned you have some plans as well. Is there anything you can already talk about except for AYREON 2025, or is that gonna still stay a bit of a mystery?
uh, well, actually, I had the third project I was talking about is going to be released this year. When will this interview be released?
That can be discussed as well.
Okay, it's just audio or video or whatever. It doesn't
Video,
matter.
video and audio.
Anyway, today the news will be out, so
Okay. So yeah,
I guess I can tell.
yeah,
I guess I can tell you about it.
yeah.
I made a solo album for Simone Simons, and it's her very first solo album she ever did. And we've been working on it for a year, like really, really hard, and we kept it a secret. And today is going to be the first teaser, so you see a little bit of Simone. And tomorrow we're going to have the video clip, and on Wednesday I'm going to make an announcement, you know, a little video and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really exciting for me. I have high expectations of that one. You know, of course,
Yeah.
it was an honor to work with Simone, and she's getting better all the time.
Mhm.
And it's something different again. You know, it's some pretty big epic stuff, but also a lot of atmospheric stuff because that's what she's good at. You know, that's what she really shines with her voice.
Well, thanks so much for that. I'm really looking forward to that. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share with your fans since, you know, the interview's over?
I think I talked a lot again, so I think, yeah, I'm thinking of maybe remixing the Human Equation because it's been 20 years. It's a 20-year anniversary, and I will probably not make it this year, but I think I can make it sound a lot better. So I started on that yesterday to see if I can get it better. So that's maybe that's something to do for the next couple of months.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I guess I'll be
Cool.
talking to you soon, hopefully.
Definitely. I count on it. Don't forget me again. Eh?